Hey guys, we just got back from Deadpool 2, the sequel to one of the highest grossing R-rated movies of all time. A film that Ryan Reynolds made happen. Obviously, I was a huge fan of the original Deadpool. I gave it like a 9 out of 10. It was amazing. It was like, this is Deadpool perfectly put on screen directly out of the comics. I was just so happy that Ryan really pulled it off. And so there's a big fear that the sequel will have a sophomore slump or be shitty and not be a good follow-up film. I can safely say, at least in my own opinion, the film is fucking awesome and it's really worth going out and seeing. I had a great time in Deadpool 2. And despite, I guess probably the only thing I'd say is maybe a little slow first act. Mm-hmm. But once you hit Act 2 and 3, it really ramps up. There's some surprises in the film, so we're going to have no spoilers here and then have a spoilers section afterwards. But let's talk a little bit about the film. Alex, how'd you feel?
I like this one. I don't know if I like this one better than the first, because the first one was so...
Oh, man.
The first one was really good, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I like it.
It came out of nowhere for me, too. And so, since then, the bar's been getting higher and higher with the other Marvel movies. So I don't know if my expectations are screwed up, but I really like this one. It's definitely one that I would recommend it people to see. I mean, the jokes were really good. Some of them weren't exactly for my taste, but everyone else in the theater seemed to really like them.
Yeah.
The action was incredible. There was a lot of there was not too many callbacks. There was a lot of them, but there were a lot of little hidden jabs and Easter eggs. If you're a comics fan, like Rob Liefeld, jabs. There was a lot of.
For comic fans.
Oh, if you were a comic fan, you'll like a lot of.
They're ones that even went over my head, like you can't draw feet. Was that Rob Liefeld?
And then the pockets, the little pockets everywhere.
So I thought that was cool, but there was people laughing at some jokes that I didn't get. I think the first act for me, Joe, was a little slow. As far as the jokes go, I wasn't really laughing out loud. When Deadpool 1 started, I laughed. I said that movie was like written by me because every single joke hit in the first one, and in the second one, it started off slow, but then second and third acts, every single one hit. I guess it was just that opening. What did you think?
I really liked it. I honestly am gonna say I like this one slightly better than the first one.
Okay, all right.
I did. I expect the unexpected in this film.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff that I wanted to happen, kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I really had a lot of fun with this film. It was funny. The action was great. Ryan Reynolds was being fantastic. Mm-hmm. I loved it.
So I'd say agree on that. The action was really good. In fact, that's where it's better than the first, in my opinion. I think that they had better villains that they go up against, or at least more entertaining and visually entertaining villains. They really tied a lot of the fights to have emotional gravity to them, or have a reason to kick some of these dudes' asses and fight, and a lot of emotion and character motivations intertwined into the fights, whereas the first one you had, the generic guy that shows up to give him the powers, right? Ajax, the most obscure guy, and you're like, meh, he's just a baddie of the week, when he stabs it with the sword, and Colossus is like, don't kill him, and they're arguing, and he gets away, it's like, but here the villains were interesting and a surprise and a good thing. So
big surprise.
Big surprise.
Big surprises.
One thing I was worried about in the film was, I don't know, as I saw in the trailers, I was getting really excited about this X-Force idea. The film, so we'll talk about that in spoilers. So it was really fun seeing that come together. Great and team. I do feel like we're going to see more of that in the future. What was I saying? Oh shit. There was the team. Oh yeah, okay. The Domino was the one I was not convinced on. I was like, nah, she doesn't look that great.
I honestly really like her because I
Right.
like her work from Atlanta. It's an awesome show.
I
You need
didn't
to watch it. Great show.
I didn't know.
She plays a great character, and I also really like her character in this one.
Yes. So that's what I was saying is that Domino like kills it in this film. She doesn't say much, but just I can tell just her mannerisms, her attitude, it really fit the Domino character. She does it justice. A little hidden gem in this film is Domino. Just watch her. It's hilarious. What's your superpower? She's like, it's luck. If you don't know, it's Domino's luck. It's not a superpower, but by the end of the film, you are convinced that she deserves to be on the team, and I want Domino on my team.
I want her powers.
I want her powers. Joe, you got her powers. You're a lucky guy. Anyway, I'll tell you what. So I really, really enjoyed the film, and I'm actually gonna side with you, Joe. I do think I like it a little bit more. It's just it's a different kind of like. Yes, the first is way more fresh. Because it did something I didn't think that Fox could do. And really it was a breakout moment, I think, in superhero films. And this one just builds on that, and so it doesn't have, some of the impact. But boy, do they pour on those references, the meta stuff. For some people, it might actually be too much. But guess what, buddy? You're at a Deadpool film. Just like the comics, it can get on you. And they pour it on here. Ryan Reynolds is in fact part of the writing team, and I could tell. He's and I think it was a little bit with the first, but he had more creative control here. And I think you can definitely tell. So many great jokes. I gotta say, what did you think about the soundtrack?
Oh, they did a really good job. There was a lot of songs that like. Ryan Reynolds has air supply in a lot of his movies. It's like a part of like Van Wilder. I think it was in the first Deadpool. It was, I think, another one too.
Oh,
he really loves that song.
Okay, I didn't notice that, but that's true. That actually is true. And there's so many songs in this film.
The soundtrack, I would give this an 11 for the soundtrack. Because it has one of my favorite artists in it.
Okay, well, let's not spoil it, but during the epic final fight, so to speak, they've got this song that plays. It's hilarious, and you get to hear more of it after the credits. By the way, stay after the credits because there are two mid-credits scene, and then at the end of the credits, there's nothing at the end of the credits, but there's the song that replays from the epic battle that is a good song. Mm-hmm. So, man, just... As Joe said, fantastic laughs, great action this time around. The plot. What did you guys think of Cable? Joe? Josh Brolin, what is he doing here? Thanos!
That joke with Thanos.
That's
pretty good.
I guess that wasn't the trailer. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know how to feel at the beginning of this because I still wanted somebody else to play.
Me too. You wanted Eric Lang?
Yes.
Yes, I wanted Eric Lang.
But he actually did a great job with this.
Man, that guy can act. He can do everything. Don't ever sleep on Josh. Okay, this guy can do it all and convince hardcore comic fans and grouchy, assholes like me that he deserves to be Cable and
Thanos and whoever you
whoever you want. Now, who can Josh not be? He cannot be Storm. He's not gonna be able to pull off Storm. No.
I'll hold my judgment.
Hold your judgment until it happens.
I want to see some screen tests.
So in my opinion, Cable was done really well. Cable in the comics, man, he's so multicolored and so like 90s attitude with the Rob Liefeld stuff, looking stuff, and he's kind of a difficult character to pull off, but Josh really does it. It's the stoic, serious, sort of grizzled veteran character.
Yeah, it was great. Well. Yeah, he does.
They made a lot of jokes because some of the people on the internet were like, "Oh, he's not tall enough to be Cable," and they make fun of him constantly throughout the movie.
Yeah. They've got time travel in the film. They even continue the girlfriend storyline. Now I'm happy that wasn't really a big part of this film. They kind of take care of that in the first act, which is good because the previous Deadpool film, she was a big factor in the second and third acts. So they did that in a good and tasteful way, and I think that this idea by the end that they can expand on the Deadpool universe. He obviously interacts with his old buddies that we've seen from the first film, Colossus, who again is a star in this one. It definitely seems as if these two are developing a bromance of some kind. They've got great chemistry, maybe even a little more. No, that's not. Hey Joe, hey Joe, don't you be judging, man. But I'm saying, I'm thinking maybe there's a little other element here going on. I don't know. I can dig it, whatever. I don't care. So I thought that was kind of interesting the way they play that up. And they do sort of go to Xavier's. When I saw this in the trailer, him spinning around in the chair, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see his antics in the house. And that paid off big. The jokes in the house pay off big. We won't talk about it here except for in spoiler section. But yeah, it's a satisfying movie. Deadpool fans are going to love it. I think your average comic book movie fan is going to like it. Fans of action, fans of comedies. This is an action comedy.
It is.
It's an action comedy, and if you treat it as such, if you're down with the meta stuff, you're gonna really enjoy it.
You have a great time with this film.
If you're, I don't really see critics probably liking this too much because maybe it gets a little too far into the mythos and the meta without much depth. To be honest, let's talk a little bit about the deficiencies of the film. It does sort of lack a little bit of character depth. They do inject quite a few characters in here. I mean, we've got the old roommate, Deadpool's roommate. I forget the old grandma's name. We got T.J. Miller is in it again.
Darkender's in there.
The cab driver. Boy, they really try to pack everybody in here. And when you're doing that, you're spreading sort of the screen time and the depth a little thin. But they do sort of center it around the idea of family, and I think it works. Do you think the family thing worked?
Yeah, everybody really got all their little time in, which was great. I felt like it was enough time to get the point across.
Yeah, a little bit for everybody. What did you think was a little bit? What did you think?
There was some slow parts. Without going into the spoiler, it's not the plot part, but they spent some time in areas of the film that it's like, okay, we get it, and let's get back to either the funny or the action. And I mean, I'm not watching this because I want them to have like this fully developed. I mean, it was a fully developed plot, but like they really tried to like press upon you some of the like the values of the movie, and it's like, get back to cutting people in half and making me laugh. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I did appreciate how it explored other facets of Deadpool's powers, if you could kind of call it that. He has a relationship with, I don't know if I could say much. No, I'm going to save it. Let's go ahead and jump to the final verdicts, and then we can let loose, okay? So, final verdicts, I'm going to begin with Alex.
Okay. I wasn't here for the first time when you guys did the review for the first Deadpool. In my mind, that one was like an 8 or a 9. I mean, it is like almost.
We ended up giving it a 9.
Yeah, it's like almost legendary. I mean, it's
you pick 8 or 9.
I would say it's a 9. The first Deadpool's a 9. It was completely out of left field. I didn't know that. I never thought they would make an R-rated comic book funny action movie, and so that gets a little bit of bonus points. I don't think I like this one as much. I think it was. I mean, it's an excellent film, and everyone should go see it. So I'm gonna give this one an 8. There was a little bit of humor that didn't quite jive with me.
Yeah,
there was some slower parts
at the beginning. I agree.
That just wasn't. It was just a little bit slow. But once it got going, it just all the way through till the end. I really enjoyed it. But because of the little hiccup in the beginning, it lowers it a little bit.
It subverts your expectations. That reminded me to say, it subverts your expectations, but I think ultimately in a good way. Joe, what is your final verdict?
For me, the beginning didn't bother me as much as like it bothered you guys. I still enjoyed the beginning. I'm gonna have to give this a 10. I liked it slightly better.
Right!
It's a 10. I really like the cast. The cast was great. There's a lot of stuff that kind of just blew my mind. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Josh was great.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Josh was great. Terry Crews was amazing.
And there's good performances all around.
Yes, the list goes on. Everybody did their part, and I love this film.
And I think the reason why it can get that is because the writing is pretty strong in here. The writing, the choreography for the action, great. So I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, geez. I liked it a little bit better than the first. I gave the first a 9, but I tell you what, I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. So, but I like it sort of in different ways from the first. You see what I'm saying? But if I had to choose between the 2 9s, this one is the one I would probably watch again first over. And I just thought it was, there's so many things I want to tell you. Okay, so 9 out of 10, fantastic film, badass, seal of approval. Go out and see this one. You'll really enjoy yourself if you're anything like us. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Stick around for the spoiler section. If not, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. Hey, welcome to the spoiler section. There is so much to go through here. In a film like this, it's going to be impossible to get all the little nitty-gritty meta stuff. But I was super happy to see Juggernaut. Yes. Juggernaut is in the film.
And he was fucking huge. Not like the other movie.
Fuck that. Fuck that weird, like, Australian tiny.
He did say, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," which made me really happy. But that was the only part of that movie I liked.
Right. So, yeah, that was the only good part in that. It just makes that Juggernaut look so fucking stupid now. So Deadpool goes to jail, and so we get this little jail stuff. Really funny jokes there as well. And I had this feeling when they were talking about you, the biggest guy. You got to start a fight with the biggest guy in here. That it was gonna be the Juggernaut, and it paid off. And even better, we get to see the fight between Colossus and Juggernaut. These are two.
I honestly thought it was gonna be Terry Crews.
Strongman,
like the biggest guy in jail.
Oh, it's gonna be Terry Crews.
I did not expect the Juggernaut. I was like, it's gotta be Terry Crews. Then he joins with them.
No, Joe. Unfortunately, Terry.
I was like, no.
Terry, what happens to Terry, Joe?
Man.
Gets hit by a bus.
Terry Crews is only with us for like 3 minutes. He's part of X-Force version 1.
Yeah.
Which they all die instantly.
Including Peter, a guy who just shows up because he saw the ad, is "What's your powers?" And he's just got this mustache and this kind of like white dad jokes look kind of thing.
And the Vanisher.
And then there was the Vanisher, who turns out to be a cameo.
And Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt shows up. He gets electrocuted. That's why you get to see him for half a second. Brad Pitt shows up. And I love these sort of half-a-second cameos. My favorite was when Deadpool's fucking wrecking shit and talking shit in Xavier's mansion. And he's like, why the fuck are there nobody's ever in here except for you fucking 3? Is this all we can afford? The studio can get... And so while he's ranting, they show in the background a whole room full of the entire cast. The latest cast. You got Bees, Xavier, fucking everybody is in there. There's at least like 8 of them or something, and they're just like they try to they don't want to deal.
Like Beast is like
they don't want. They were hiding from Deadpool the whole time, and they're literally only in there for like 3 seconds. So they got all these guys together to do a 3-second cameo in costume, in full makeup, and it paid off so well. So. A lot of really good spoilers. You know what we didn't get to talk to about much?
Was the kid?
Is the kid in the review. Fuck. All right, we'll talk about him here.
I don't like him.
You don't like him. I like him, and I think it's because I saw him in another film, some of the Wildebeest or something, where he was like that film is spilling over into this film. That film was so fucking fantastic. I'll put it up on the screen behind me because I can't remember what it is. No, Joe, you can't see it. No. So look at the description. It was great, and at least I think that's the kid. I hope he is because it's the New Zealand accent. But he was a great actor there, and I thought I bought the fact that there are mutants and this kid that sold it, that there are some mutants that are out of control. And they did this whole storyline where this kid eventually like fucking destroys stuff. And it's not like he is Apocalypse. It's not, they didn't go with he's going to be this god of amongst the villains. They really just said, well, first off, all you mutants turn our fucking world into shit, is what Cable says. So you don't really know quite what that means. It could mean, the war in the future with the Sentinels and the fight and all this other stuff, but it could mean something completely different. But the reason why he's after the kid is because the kid personally kills his family, his Cable's wife and daughter, and his daughter has this little bear that bear that you've seen that he hangs on his belt. And because of that, he goes back in time to fucking murder this kid so that his family can live. And so it's an isolated, sort of off to the side kind of thing. There's no world-shattering beam hitting the earth or something like that.
Revenge plot.
Oh, a revenge plot. And so I respected the movie for that. And it's kind of, refreshing to see, neighborhood Spider-Man kind of film. Yeah. So I thought the kid did a great job. Why didn't you like him?
I don't like characters where I have a hard time believing that someone would ever act like that. Where that someone is just pure evil and the kid is pure dick, 100% pure, like ridiculous.
But that wasn't at all what the kid was.
Anytime the kid is acting around the school, he goes from, in the prison, he's like, I want to be Deadpool's friend. I got your back. I'm going to do all these other things.
Yeah, he's real nice.
And then the other scenes in the movie, he is 100% asshole, where he is no compromise. I'm going to murder all these people. I'm going to kill everybody. It's like, I don't buy that. I don't get this bipolar kid where he can just be.
Man.
Yeah, I get it. Maybe that's just what it is. But
I thought
I didn't like. I'm not. It didn't ruin the movie for me.
Yeah.
I still liked the movie.
Yeah.
But it's just I didn't buy the character. I didn't like him all much.
What did you think?
I thought he was fine by me.
Yeah.
He acted like a teenager.
What is his name?
Fire Fist.
Firebat.
Fire Fist.
Fire Fist.
Yeah. It's a weird name.
Fire Fist is Deadpool's.
But I thought he was fine. He acted like a normal teenager. He was angry majority of the time, but he was trying to make a friend.
Yeah.
So,
and
he was
they
trying to be buddies with Deadpool. I guess that's what how it jumped.
Yeah. And I bought it because they did some flashbacks to where he was actually being tortured. I think they probably could have pressed that element a little bit more. Kind of showed these guys really were fucking dicks. Well, yes, they show you that they're torturing, but I want to see all the orderlies actually do fucked up shit because they murder all these orderlies. They murder the orderlies. They murder the headmaster. In fact, the guy in the cab.
Like one of the person's like first day on the job is like
Murder with a brick. Yeah.
But no, they were saying all those orderlies and that headmaster deserve to die. And fucking cabbie runs them over at the end because nobody wanted to kill him because they're all heroes and stuff. And the rule is no killing, which, Deadpool fucks up when he goes on his first mission as an X-Men. So we get that. I wanted to see that from the first film. I was like, oh, they're playing with this idea. I hope we get to see it. We do. He comes in like this football fucking trainee, like he's B-team.
Yes.
But he's not even B-team. He's like Z-team. He's a trainee. He's a practice squad. And he fucks it up royally. And it was just a fantastic scene. Just great, great scenes. What else? What was something cool that we could talk about?
The constant little one-liners. Calling Josh Brolin One-Eyed Willie was really good. I love.
I didn't hear that one.
Oh yeah,
Willie.
he's about to get shot. He says like cut it out, One-Eyed Willie, which is great because he has one eye in this movie, and then him being in the Goonies.
Yeah, and also that, and I love it when he was calling him. He's like, "Oh my God, you're so dark. Are you sure you're not from the DC universe?" And I was like, I laughed so hard because he's hands out digs left and right, and there's references to Superman,
Logan,
to Batman. I am Batman.
Logan too in the beginning.
Logan in the beginning.
He jumps on Juggernaut's back and he's trying to steer him. He's like, the sun's getting real low, big guy. It's just like, oh, perfect.
Great. There are so many things like this. And it's so cool that we have so many superhero films to reach into. There's more reaching into other superhero films than there is almost of reaching into the comics that you have to know. So that's really cool that we have this era of sort of great superhero films. There is one character that really kind of just seemed tacked on. and it just really had no purpose. Now, I'm not talking about X-Force, because that was a setup joke 100%. All these...
Yeah, the mustache is amazing.
I really must say, man, we could talk for hours on this film, because I think they even referenced Mojo, like that spider guy, that gross, disgusting thing from a different planet, and one of those, aliens comes, and he's like Shatterstar, but he gets fucking... destroyed, like fucking chopped up in blades, because they decide to jump out to ambush the convoy in high winds. Everybody goes everywhere and dies.
Like, who would have known those high winds? Everybody did.
Literally everybody.
Except for Domino, because she's lucky and she's obviously perfect and could follow them for miles. But the thing is, what I meant is, so those weren't like, sort of useless characters to me. That was set up purposefully. However, that new X-Men, I don't even know her name. Now, she's cute as hell, and I love her personality, her bubbly personality. What?
Yuki?
Is that her name?
Yeah.
I don't know how you remember that, because she's barely there. She
says it over and over. Yeah, hi Wade,
hi Wade, and it's just like thrown in because they wanted to make a joke that teenage Negasonic lady
something
is a lesbian. And it's like, hey, she's a lesbian,
I didn't know she was part of the team till the very end.
Who?
Yeah. Oh, that you dressed up? I was just like, I just thought it was a girlfriend.
That she was
my
an X-Men?
Yeah, like, this is my girlfriend. I was like, oh, cool, whatever. But then, like, she, at the very end, she's, like, in uniform and then fighting. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know
Which
she
is
was kind of
cool. But I don't know. Maybe some of her scenes got cut or something, but she kind of seemed a little tacked on there. But I guess it's not necessary. It's just, hey, Negasonic has she's got a relationship, and she brought her along for more backup. Because when you fight the Juggernaut, you need some fucking backup. And, God, they did Juggernaut so well. Now, it's so cool. The only thing I wish I could see him in his original armor, but of course he's in his prison stuff. You get to see his butthole. Yeah.
You don't see his butthole.
Yeah,
you see his butt.
Well, that's what I mean. So did they murder him, or did they make a reference that I gotta go take care of? Because I think it was somebody said before he wakes up. I was like,
he was moving
talking about.
Yeah, at the very end, they're all walking away. He's getting out of the pool.
Oh, okay, I missed that. Okay, good. Juggernaut's still alive. They can use him in the future if they want to. And they're all doing this slow walk sort of at the end. And honestly, these members, Domino, Cable, obviously Deadpool, are members of the X-Force. So I think that in Deadpool 3, which I hope this movie does well enough, I asked you guys to go out and see Deadpool 1 and support it, because it was an R-rated film, and those films make a far less money than other films. And it did well enough, and it got a sequel. So I really want the same thing for this, because I would be happy with a trilogy. I really want a trilogy. I'm going to watch it again, too. I still have to see Avengers again. Did you
Of course I saw it again.
You saw it, yeah. I just had some other things. But I'll tell you what, it's worth seeing twice, guys. And I want to see at least one more film. Please, Fox. I think this will do well enough. But I think what they're probably setting up is X-Force. It won't be Deadpool 3.
Well, it's begging Disney now, right?
It'll be X-Force. No, actually, I mean, there was Comcast or somebody else is trying to buy Fox. They might try to outbid or something. So that's still up in the air. I don't think they're really fully, or maybe I don't know. It's weird. So I don't think we can bet that, that's going to happen, all that stuff. At least not by the 3. Yeah. So I want to see 3 films. Would you guys be all right with the trilogy?
Oh, yeah, I love a 3rd film. As long, if they put the same time and effort, because they put a lot of effort in this.
Yeah.
And they actually put the last thing that you see is how many people worked on it and over how many hours. And then you can tell they put a ton of time into this.
Yeah.
So.
They got all those cameos. Obviously, they really wanted him.
Yeah.
It was great.
So 3 films for me, and maybe one final cameo in the actual Marvel universe. That's
asking a lot.
That would be the icing on the cake, guys. So there's so much more to talk about, but we don't make this thing 3 hours long. So leave it in the comment section. Tell us what you thought of it. Was it better or worse than the original? Do you think it deserves the rating that we gave it? And I loved it. And it's going to be another thing I buy.
Let's talk about the end.
The ending.
My girl, Cher, I love this song. If I can turn back time, because they played.
Joe actually legitimately likes
I love
Cher.
Cher. Cher's amazing. She's one of my favorite. But one of the ending credits, they fix Cable's time
machine. I thought it ran out of juice, but apparently it was just broken or something.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, it runs out of juice, but they fix it because magic.
Because they all of a sudden make Negasonic teenage lady genius a genius, and she could fix time. What the fuck? She can make time machines? Okay, whatever. But it's basically just to set up that he can go back and he can,
save his girlfriend.
Save his girlfriend.
Kill Deadpool.
What? He didn't kill Deadpool.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, the fake
terrible Deadpool.
That was so cool.
And it ties in with it. If I can turn back time with Cher.
He goes into Wolverine Origins Wolverine, and there's Hugh Jackman now. It's not Hugh Jackman now. It was a film footage of the thing, but he actually shoots the Deadpool in the head. He said, "Sorry, I need to take care.
Fix the timeline.
Gain to fix this." That was so funny. And then he does one more thing.
He assassinates Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Oh, the biggest fuck
That
you to
was
DC.
great.
That was so good because that movie was such a disaster. And you know what's crazy is that I met Ryan Reynolds. Here's my story: is that in Austin, did you come with? We went to a showing. Like a press showing back when we got invited to those things for Green Lantern, and I don't remember if I was wearing a Green Lantern shirt, and it was the premiere, the first time they were showing it, and he got out of the car, and we, people were, waving at him, and we made eye contact, and I said something, I'll never forget it, and it's so stupid, and I said, "You'll probably be seeing a lot more of these," and I pointed at my shirt, and he goes, "Yeah, I forgot what he said. It sucks because I forgot what he said. I think it was like, well, I hope so," or something like that. And but he was super nice. He actually took time to, talk to people and shake their hand. I was like, wow. And ever since then, I was like, I like that dude. He's really nice, because a lot of the celebrities just run by and they go. But no, he was out there talking to people. So anyway, then I watched the film and I come out. I'm like, oh man. That's not going.
The shirt, right?
That's not going anywhere. Yeah, I don't even have that shirt anymore. I don't know where it went. So I was like, yeah, that didn't work out. But it's cool that he knows it didn't work out, and he self-references it. He kills himself.
We had the big time. It's like
Ryan
Green
Reynolds.
Lantern.
Green Lantern.
You're welcome, Canada.
Yes.
Awesome. And that was the mid-credit. And so the only other thing I wanted to mention real quick was from what I mentioned in the review, the meta stuff around his powers. They sort of explored after death Deadpool, which happens a lot. Deadpool dies a lot in the comics, and he has this relationship with death a little bit, sort of like how Thanos had a relationship with death, if I'm remembering this right, where he's kind of in this world, in this other realm and universe. And they kind of touched on that a little bit with his girlfriend being in heaven and waiting for him at the end, so that he can have a happy ending. But I guess that's not, she's not in heaven anymore.
She's
because he
alive.
fixed the timeline. So he fixed everything.
He went back in time.
And he has a time machine, which is really crazy. Maybe we'll get to see Deadpool go in the future and fight Sentinels. I don't know. I'm thinking some crazy stuff. Or they'll just say it broke again. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And that's what's wonderful about Deadpool franchise. He can do anything he wants. Just break the fourth wall all the time. So, all right. Has anybody else?
Movie.
Anybody
Go
else?
watch it.
What, another Columbo moment?
Go watch it. All right, guys.
And another thing.
Thank you so much for watching.
There were a lot of cocaine.
The joke. The visual joke. Winnie the Pooh joke.
Yeah, I thought that
He
was
had
lame.
little baby legs. No, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was disgusting and lame with his little dick hanging out and his fucking baby legs. Because Juggernaut rips him the fucking half, right? And he has to grow these little baby legs, and so he was like, like
He's just a basic instinct thing.
Yes.
But they dragged on for so long.
I know, but that's why.
It was great.
It actually brought me around. I wasn't into it at first. I was like, come on.
It's when they showed you the little baby dick that you
No,
liked
it wasn't the baby dick. It's when he got up to try to make a statement. Because Cable shows up. Obviously, he's kind of, they've been fighting him this whole time. And he comes to explain why he's been doing this. And he needs their help now that Juggernaut's involved. And Deadpool's like, all right, let's do this. He gets up.
Oh my God, he's walking.
Just walking around.
And then they do the long shot of his little butt hanging out, and I think it was like just the reaction on Cable's face. I could have gone without using that. And when Deadpool dies and Cable goes back in time, uses his last time charge to so he can't see his family anymore, to stay in this timeline and be Deadpool's friend. So we will get Cable and Deadpool next. If it's not X-Force, it's Cable and Deadpool, no doubt. And it was fun, and it was touching. The one thing I noticed, and I don't know if it's a fuck-up, you guys maybe are smart than me, can tell me what happened. So when he goes back in time, you'll notice he does not have a robotic eye anymore. He still has his robot hand, but he doesn't have his robotic eye, and I think he doesn't have some of the cybernetic on him. It's just a robot hand. So by going back and affecting the timeline...
You mean after, at the very end of the movie?
So when his
he still has it on his neck. He still has it on
I'm not sure, because when his bear sort of materializes and it's like his family didn't get killed by the kid, then I think that's why he no longer has that eye, because perhaps it was Russell, the little kid, the New Zealand kid, Fire Fist, that had hit Cable with something in the past as they done battle in the future or whatever, and it fucked up his body. But his eyes are both clean. They're clean, and there's no robotic pieces.
I didn't notice the eye, but I definitely saw it up his neck. So
I'm wondering if maybe the fucking visual artist fucked up. Because remember, they made that meta joke